Welcome to Live, Let, Thrive, a podcast about the Airbnb life, the share economy, and everything in between. Here are your hosts, Myka and Steve.
Hello, hello, hello.
And welcome back to another exciting episode
Of Live,
Let
Thrive. What is up, Michael Man?
I am chilling. How you doing, Stevie Stacks?
Good. Trying to stack them every day.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and this is episode 134 of your favorite Airbnb, VRBO, home away, Uber, Lyft, all that fun stuff podcast. And we have a special guest today.
A repeat guest. This is Mike's second time on the cast. First time he was talking to us about TaskRabbit, and this time he actually got Airbnb up and he is moving and grooving. Let's welcome Michael Brown back to the cast.
Yeah, downtown Michael Brown.
Hey everybody, thanks for having me again. Definitely excited. So a lot of things have happened since the last time we've talked. So good to catch up.
What all has happened?
So we talked a little bit before on the call about my upcoming wedding. So we've been planning for that in COVID times. Can you believe it? Over the past couple of months, it's going to be this upcoming weekend. So got a lot of things lined up for that. And as you mentioned, over the past couple of months, getting started with my own Airbnb, kind of transitioning really not necessarily away from TaskRabbit, but kind of toning that down a little bit and transitioning my focus and effort towards the Airbnb startup. Had a property. This is actually my second property. And if I can start from the beginning if you want in terms of how it all started with my old spot and all that. But so just a quick timeline. So in the process of getting married, moving in together, and all that kind of stuff, because my fiance and I, we didn't live together until around April of this year. This year will actually have made 6 years that we'll be together in end of November. So quite a long time. Not to have lived with each other. No, that was my push too, but couldn't make it happen until we got closer to the wedding and start to steal the deal with the engagement. So, so the things didn't necessarily line up in terms of her lease and my lease and when it ended. I think hers ended back in maybe early March or something like that, and then mine wasn't going to end until end of July. So it's like, okay, well, we need to decide on whether or not we want to cancel a lease and have to pay all the extra money to be able to get out of that, all the kind of stuff. And we still want to be able to live together and have hopefully some savings by living together too, right? I mean, that's another benefit of being together. And so with that, being able to say, okay, hey, let's see if we can go ahead and transition my place, because she didn't want to do it at hers, which mine was a little better. I mean, I'm not being biased, but it had a little bit more on the amenity side. It was a little newer. And we said, hey, let's see if we can put my place on Airbnb. I've always wanted to try it and get into it, so on and so forth. This would be a nice little test. So, got everything cleaned up, transitioned out back in early May. And this is kind of like at the peak of COVID when people were doing, the quarantine, right? And we actually moved out of her place during the quarantine, essentially. So, movers are essential workers. So, they said they were willing to do the move, so we did the move during quarantine. We didn't have a choice because the lease is about to be up, and we already put in our notice and everything. So, so we did that, and we said, hey, let's go ahead and put my place up. So we took all my stuff out, transition, and put some of it in storage, some of it here, and then made it, presentable via Airbnb. And surprisingly, out of the 90 days that I actually had it up on Airbnb, probably one day was vacant. As you probably have seen, there are a lot more long-term extended stay guests that are starting to book now because they want that transitional feel with all the uncertainty with COVID-19. People want to be able to do month to month. As trying to do month to month in the Dallas market is not cheap. Especially if you want to do month to month for a fully furnished place, all bills paid, then that's a whole nother story. So at the time, my only goal was to break even on that apartment. So I got the numbers here. So roughly, with just rent alone, it was like $1,250 a month. and then with utilities and everything, it was about an extra $200. So you figure $1,450 essentially all in. And so with the bookings that I was able to do within that 90 days, I basically just kind of broke even. I didn't necessarily make any profits. It was a great learning experience, and it really got me to understand the customer service side of it and things of that nature. However, comparatively with those 30-day bookings to the ones that I've been doing with this new property is very different because, I've got people coming in week to week, right? So that you got that changeover, you got the cleaning happening. So obviously a lot more hands-on compared to the 30 days. It's like where you leave it and you don't think about them for a while. Because literally on all 3 stays, because it was 3 different people, 30 days each, I didn't hear from them at all until they got ready to check out. And the place was clean. It was fine. Actually, I take that back. The guy did lose one of the keys that I gave him. And luckily, we had a spare one inside the apartment. So I just had to go over and, let him in. And he did pay for another key. So at the time, obviously, in retrospect, which I have addressed now, my new Airbnbs, there's a fee for that if you lose the key, kind of thing, which I didn't have before. So it was a great learning experience. So transitioning out of that, started with my own property, basically about 45 days before, I'm getting married, kind of thing. So we've been 45 days into that new property. I transitioned, because that was my old lease. I transitioned all the furniture, so that was at no cost. So no new furniture that I had to purchase for the first new spot. All I had to do was pay for the movers to get it over there, right? And obviously I had to do a little bit more decor at the new spot. So we've been doing that one now for 45 days, and now we're about to launch the second one in about 2 weeks. So as soon as we come back from the honeymoon, it's being launched. I basically have 75% of the stuff that's going to go in it already. Plus I pick up the keys this week for that spot. But, one of the most challenging things is always trying to find the right property. And obviously the property is going to be willing to let you do it, right? So with this first spot that I did, not my personal one, but the first one that I picked up, I've actually been doing some handyman work for this property manager for quite a while at different properties. So he said, hey, let's work out a deal where you can help me out with some things and I can let you do Airbnb on this particular property. So he knows, he's aware of it. I'm partially paid for the work I'm doing on the handyman stuff, but we've kind of got this partnership that we've created.
Good trade-off.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I'm learning in the process too, right? Because some of those same skills. I mean, I don't want to say former TaskRabbit person, but I've been doing TaskRabbit for a long time, so I kind of have all that skill set. And in real estate, you kind of need to know some of that stuff, right? Because you need to know when people are going to be trying to overcharge you to fix certain things, even though you have the ability to fix them or improve them, things of that nature. And then if you need to come in and hop on an emergency, then you can do that as well. So
nice.
So how many units you have? 1 or 2? You said 2?
Yeah, this is the second one we're starting up.
Okay, where are they located?
So this first one is basically in the Knox-Henderson area.
Okay.
So where the M Streets and everything are. So
Okay.
I'm not sure if you're familiar with that area at all, but
Knox-Henderson.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, Lower Greenville kind of area. So yeah.
Everybody. So that's what I was talking about. I think we was talking about Lower Greenville. Everybody's starting to hit that area over there. I think Steve's over there. You're over there. I think Josh is over there. So
mine goes live on Friday. Everybody.
you're
All right, congratulations.
Congrats.
Yeah, over off Bennett Street, if you know where that's at.
Oh wow. Okay, so mine is literally off Bennett as well.
Oh,
Y'all got competition.
no,
Y'all both 1 bed, 1 bath.
Yeah. Well, mine is, yeah.
Okay.
Let's not do price fixing, okay?
That's gonna be interesting though, because I told Steve if that it works over there, told hey, I'm gonna use the same company as you and I'll run them up over there too. If it's starting to work. But it sounds like COVID did you well since everybody was going for the long term route, right?
Yeah, no, definitely, especially in the beginning. I mean, it really surprised me. But when people reach out to you, and I'm sure you've seen this before too, it's people that are either moving here to Dallas to work, and they need somewhere to stay, or it's people that have purchased a new home and they say, I need about a month or a couple of weeks to handle closing costs and all this kind of stuff, and I need somewhere to stay where I can, get my legs here in Dallas kind of thing. So I get it. It makes sense. And I think when you allow people to feel comfortable in your space and things of that nature, and I mentioned to you before some of the things I'm doing with my space to make it a little special and in terms of cleanliness and things of that nature, then people are all over it. And if it's in a good location, that helps too, right?
Yeah. And what's size units you got?
So the first one is just under 800 square feet.
It's 1 bedroom, 1 bath.
Yeah, and basically the second one is basically the same. So
okay. And
yeah,
how
the
many
second
people?
one is over off of it's basically by Love Field kind of area. So
And how many people? How many guests do you allow in a 1 bedroom, 1 bath?
typically 2 to 3 guests. Just because it just makes it a little bit easier to manage and things of that nature. I know you can charge for additional guests if you want to, kind of thing, but I just think for a lot of people they just want to be able to have a little bit more flexibility if they can, and if they're trying to do more than 3 people for the size space, even if you start adding in futons and all this kind of stuff, it just makes it really crowded, to be honest. So.
Yeah, I used to do the so like right now, even now at my places that I do charge for extra guests. So like let's say I have a 3-bedroom house, I'll purposely sleep it for 8, but anything over 6, that additional person is like $50 a night. But people are willing to pay it. So
Wow,
$50
50
a
per
night
night.
per person.
Wow.
So it's really $100 a night if they bring 8 people for
Wow.
just those 2. So it's good profit in doing that too.
Okay.
Yeah,
So there you go. Put it for 2 and then charge for extras.
yeah.
I might do that with mine because I have mine set at 4 right now. So I'm like, yeah, I might do that.
Charge them for 4. Hey, you can bring 2, but since we only have 1 bed and we give you a pull-out couch, any extra over 2 is an extra charge. People will pay it, and I'll be like, oh dang.
Nice. Yeah. So excuse me.
So
you're
how-
gonna. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, how are you guys typically managing? I know for the single family for Myka, you because you got a couple of those. I mean, you could probably do a Ring doorbell and things of that nature. How are you guys managing how many people come into the space and all that?
Yeah,
I got bring more people.
I got Ring doorbells. I got a Ring doorbell, and then I do exterior cameras. So I got a camera on the exterior of every exit and every entrance.
Yeah.
So that's how you kind of manage it. I haven't really had too many problems with people bringing people over. I had a party during COVID, but other than that, it ain't really been too bad. I know a lot of people are getting some bad guests, but I think I'm kind of deteriorated just because of the area that I'm in. So, yeah.
I mean, that's true because I mean, there's a lot of new people coming to the platform right now, and so they may not know the Airbnb process, and that could be a good thing or a bad thing for some people. So because they expect one thing and not really knowing what's supposed to happen, right? Oh, is it supposed to be like a hotel, or it's supposed to be something else?
Yeah, see, and I never had the issues like the 1 bedroom, 1 bath. You don't really get the party people. They ain't really looking for that size. You usually get the couples coming into town or the 2 couples coming into town. Like you and Steve will probably get the 2 couples coming into town and stuff like that, which is pretty easy. So
They were trying to bring 6 guests, man, this last time for
Really?
my first booking. Yeah, we're like, it's kind of small, for that.
Yeah.
I would have charged them. Like, hey, if y'all want to pile it up on the floor, man, that's your business. Just hey, that floor costs money.
Real estate, baby.
You're gonna laugh. So I did have somebody reach out to me. Obviously, I declined them. They just came out. They're transparent and say, hey, I'm trying to have a place where we can throw a party or whatever for 15 people in a 1 bedroom. And I'm like, how do you even bring yourself to ask this kind of question? I appreciate the transparency, but I mean, it's not gonna happen.
Supposedly, Airbnb is banning party houses. I want to know how they're doing.
I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah, like they've been sending out these emails about it. I've been like, how y'all doing? Like, are y'all banning the guest or y'all banning the host? I don't know which. I don't know how that's.
I mean, I think basically, I mean, if you have it on your listing that you can do up to this many people, the cap is 16 now. I think under the new.
They capped it.
I thought it was 16 under the new cap.
I didn't know they
So
capped
it's
it.
like if you have any more than that, you probably need to change your listing because they're gonna start cracking down on that. If this whole ban or ruling, really has some legs. So
See, and that,
and that what that's gonna do is because there's venues that are on Airbnb as well, whether it be for weddings and other kind of things of that nature. So
experience.
I mean, they just have to either come off the platform completely and start to switch to direct bookings exclusively, or at least reduce down their guest count.
I would hope that's built dependent upon size, because I remember, who was it, Yuri, that we had on the podcast. He rents out those big old houses, like up in, I think, Omaha. Like he'll get those 6-7 bedroom houses, 16 guests. That works there. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I want to look into that.
Yeah, I would look into it because I think size does not matter at all, which is really unfortunate because I don't know what share of Airbnb in terms of demographic does that represent, but I'm pretty sure it's a good portion, a big chunk. But
yeah, but that is a good number though, because even I think I don't know what the average bedroom count is on Airbnb, because I don't see too many houses 5 bedrooms. It starts declining, starts going down, but that might be a good count, but that's interesting.
So Michael, you plan to self-manage?
Right now, I think once I get to 4 or more properties, then that's when I'm going to start to transition into getting somebody else to start building a team around the growth of the business. So
I think it's a good way to go. So you can learn all the ins and outs, learn the ropes, and then you can know if the person you pass it on to is doing a good job or not. You can kind of watch them. You know what I'm saying? So I'm having a previous guest of the show, Sarah Doan Glidewell, SDG, and she's setting up the unit for me. She's an interior designer and all that, so she's setting it up for me. And then a company she works with is going to run it. And so I was like, this is the first time I've been hands off on an Airbnb, so it's kind of a little nerve wracking. I'm like,
it's just your baby, it's your child.
Yeah. So I'm twiddling my thumbs. Y'all need me? Nah, we got it. And but they're cool though, because like if there's like a decision they think, okay, this is a little questionable decision, they'll ask me, hey, should we do this? And I'm like, oh yeah, that's fine, you could do that. They don't just start making promises to guests or stuff like that. So that's been promising, And nice. So it's just a change, but I just remember being out of town and then getting, hit up for about the Airbnb or hit up on trying to contact a cleaner or where you at, and being on ruining a vacation for me. I'm like, God dang it. So if someone else can, take the reins and only charge 15% plus they can up my bookings, and up the price that I get. I mean, that's like a win-win. So we'll see how it goes.
Nice.
I hope it goes well.
I hear that.
I'm hopping in on that.
For real. Okay, but you're all about self-management, Myka.
No sir. Systems, and that sounds like that's a system that you have. So
optimize
the ultimate system. Let someone else do it.
Yep. That's if they're setting it up and running it.
So here's a good question for you, Myka. I mean, because like with all the systems that you put in place and this and that, you think that it would even out like towards like someone else doing it at 15%? You think that you're spending that much money and time on your systems that to be about the same, about equal as losing 15%?
Yeah. My Airbnbs, I'm not even remotely close to them. So I'd definitely be down
especially for you. Yeah.
I'm down to, hey, that's some more passive money to throw out there and bring it back in. I'm good. As long as you can give me minimum 13% return on my money, I'll do it. You 13%. Take your 50% cut. Everybody get paid. Let's do it.
Okay. And who runs them for you now?
I have teams, boots on the ground down there that run them.
So you don't do nothing on them? You don't talk to guests or nothing?
No, I'll eventually, like, if something happens, they'll have to be like my team, they'll have to reach out to me. Like, they'll be like, hey, because they sometimes they monitor the cameras and everything. They'll say something like, hey, Myka, this is going on. And then one time the Jacksonville Police Department called me. And I was like, what the hell? And there was a fight over at the house, man. They were pulling knives on each other.
Oh, wow.
And it got crazy, though. And then, But the Jacksonville police told me, hey, if you want them out, because they're like, we know it's an Airbnb. If you want them out, we'll kick them out. And they kicked them out. And then, they kicked them out. They're like, yeah, we know this is an Airbnb and you don't allow this. And I was like, yeah, okay. And they kicked them out.
Damn.
Yeah, they called me. Like, it was crazy because it was like they called me like 8, 9 o'clock at night. And they're like, hey, this is Jacksonville Police Department. I'm like, oh, damn. You know, they were like, yeah, it's a party going on. And the crazy part about it was when all this is going on, man, they were live streaming it on Instagram. And my niece found it and sent it to me. I was like, wow. They were in there fighting. But they messed up my walls. I think Airbnb sent me about $500 for the damages they did. But, yeah, other than that, I don't really do much, though.
You even got the police on your payroll, man.
For real. Yeah. I was like, dang, man. I'm feeling real gangsterish right now. I got
got the mob over there, man.
Real. They called me. They were like, I was like, dang. She was like, we could put them out, man. They kicked them out, though. It was cool, but but I'm down to 15%. I'm with it. I'll let you take that. No.
So Michael, what kind of systems you putting into place to run yours smoothly?
For me, really right now, just being able to manage, obviously, the cleaning process. I've actually been able to find a pretty good cleaner that's consistent, good quality work that I've worked with. And initially, I reached out to her on TaskRabbit, and especially when I got ready to flip the properties and everything and start transitioning all the furniture and everything over, I needed somebody to do like the first deep clean on the property, right? And so she was really great, affordable, and now I'm even starting to help her grow her business because the same property manager that I'm doing the handyman stuff for, he needs cleaners, right? Like any property manager, to either flip new units, to get them online, to get ready to rent to new tenants, things of that nature, make them get ready, all the kind of stuff. So there's a win-win and kind of, I guess, share economy in that aspect as well. So it's worked out great.
He gave you a discount on the rent?
Actually, I did negotiate. It was kind of unofficial because he's like, the last people that were in here were, this amount. And I was like, can we go a little bit lower on it? Because I had seen the unit already, kind of thing, because I had did some work in the one next to it, and he was like, yeah, the keys are there. Go check it out, blah blah. He's like, yeah, I'll let it go for this amount. Okay, I was like, all right, yeah, I'll do that. So nice. It was great to do that, and I don't know if I mentioned to you before, but so that this first one that I'm already doing right now, all in, all utilities paid is $1,080 a month.
Whoa, nice.
So you can imagine.
Wait a minute, and you 800 square feet for that?
It's like 780, yeah, 770, 780, yeah.
And 1080 all in.
All in.
And what did you negotiate it?
Well, aside from internet, I've still got to do that. But he wanted 11 and some change, like 1170, 1180, something like that.
All bills paid and everything.
Yeah.
Even with internet, you're like at 1140, man. That ain't bad.
Yeah, and for that area too, right? I mean,
is it a gated spot?
It is, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I need the hookups too, man.
So I have a question too about the whole gated thing. Like, how are you handling guests checking in and out? Is there a process? Like, do you have to spend a lot of time and overhead on that, or what? How is that?
It's kind of hard to tell because I would say more than 70% of the people that have booked through me have been first-time Airbnb, no reviews, never done Airbnb before. So their judgment and perspective would be a little bit different than maybe somebody else that have had some reviews and things of that nature. But to answer your question, so for me, I've got the August lock, right? I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. So I got that installed, and before they check in, I send them instructions. Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and set you up for this time slot, blah blah blah, so you can go ahead and get in. And they've got the key code access. Once they get in, they'll have the access to the key fob to actually open the gate and all that kind of stuff. And then from there, they're good. So like literally, the August lock is only for entry the first time and exiting the spot.
It's funny.
They just the old school key from there.
It's funny. I was actually looking. I just ordered one of them remote locks, which I'm used to. But I was looking at the August lock because I stayed at an Airbnb back home in Vancouver, Portland, and
Nice.
he had the August lock, and I liked it. You can just unlock it the door from your car. But
the only thing.
My only concern was What if I get an older guest who's not tech savvy? I'm like, that was my only thing stopping me, and I'm like, have you had that issue yet?
I have actually. It happened twice. And it was. I don't think it was because the guest was old. It's just because they weren't paying attention. It was like, oh, I didn't see the invite, and I didn't get it, but I was available. And again, everybody is different, especially if you're managing multiple properties as opposed to just doing a few. You may not be available at the time they call you, and they're just going to be sitting there at the door. But with the August lock, you can open it remotely.
Mm-hmm.
So if that does happen, I'll be like, okay, hold on a second, let me go ahead and open it. Boom, within 10 seconds it unlocks for them, and then they're in, kind of thing. And then you do the same thing for them when they get ready to check out. On the flip side, if someone were to do it the correct way, it's literally hands off. I get a notification when they check in, I get a notification when they check out in the August lock. So that's also good because if you've got that fee structure in your systems on your house rules and everything around, if you check out late, so many minutes after whatever, you can see that and you have it time stamped. So there's no issue around, oh, well, I was only an hour late instead of, 4 hours late kind of thing. Because it's all documented.
Okay. And then, so you've only had problem 1 or 2 times. So that ain't bad then.
Yeah. And the good thing about the August lock too is it uses the blue. Okay. I'll go ahead and say I'm not endorsing August lock. They're not paying me anything for advertising. It's just a great product that I've used and I've had good experiences with. But the last thing is, it's great because it uses Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. So in the case where you've sent the access to the guest in advance, they have it on their phone. Say if the internet goes down, you can't unlock it from your phone remotely because it needs the internet, right? But the guest is there on site. They have it on their phone, so they can do it via Bluetooth. That's the backup.
Unless their phone dies.
That makes sense. Yeah, unless their phone dies, and then I don't know what you do.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
But yeah, but I usually tell people, I'm like, hey, make sure you at least you get your phone ready to go ahead and do this to get checked in, and you should be ready to go.
See, and how are you communicating them that the invite's been sent out? Are you communicating it through Airbnb or through like email or something?
Yeah, it's through Airbnb.
Airbnb. Okay.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like we have automated messages go out after guests check in to check on them like the next day. Mm-hmm. And I guess through your porter, they set it up to where it sends an email out as well. And I noticed a lot more people respond back to the email than through the Airbnb app. And I was like,
I can see that. Because what I'll do is I'll text them the same information. Mm-hmm. So there's not any, I didn't see it. Airbnb, it was a lag or something, or it didn't show. Because you know how apps are sometimes. So
yeah.
So I do that as a backup, and 90% of the time it works well. So I can't complain.
In my last question about everything that's going on, like I just kind of noticed since I've been switching over to the houses that I own or rent out, I noticed houses need less systems than arbitraging apartments. That's why I was telling Steve, I'm down for them. If they want to do the 15%, you can do that because you're going to use your system. I'll let you use your system to do it because I really noticed once I transitioned to houses from apartments, man, you need way more systems on apartments, man. So that is one thing I've noticed.
Oh, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So you back to the cleaner real quick. Did you ever think of using TurnoverBnB for that?
I remember you guys talking about this a while back, and when I first started off, I didn't think about it, but I had a plug, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and use this," because I'm still small, right? But no, I'm open to checking that out and seeing if there's some savings there and how it can help bundle that into other properties, especially since for the immediate future, I'm going to be in Dallas. I don't see myself expanding outside of Dallas, anytime soon. But the intent is to try and get a new property every quarter at a minimum.
Nice. I love that.
Through 2021.
But real quick because it sounds like we're pitching these companies, but this is just things that are actually helped us a lot. Because and even Myka, I think he would suggest it too. to get your cleaner on that site too. Because if you want to help your cleaner get more business, I mean, she's going to get a lot more business on TurnoverBnB. But the best part of it is like her calendar is linked up to your Airbnb calendar, so she knows exactly when your turnovers are going to happen. She don't have to get a message from you, say, hey, they're checking out here. If they move the checkout date, it sends her thing. So her calendar is always linked up to when exactly you got check-ins and check-outs. And it's funny because like my cleaner, I found her on TurnoverBnB, but she I even asked on the slide, hey, if you want to go outside the system, you don't have to take. I think they took $5 off or whatever her cleaning, and she's like, no, I like it. It helps me keep track of the houses I'm cleaning. So I like it. Let's just stay on the system. I was like, that's kind of a glowing review for them, because they're not gouging you or her. I mean, you're not paying. You're paying like a little bit, a couple bucks, but it just links the calendars, and it keeps everything so she knows, and there's no miscommunication. She has her calendar with all what day she has to clean and this and that. So, and plus, by getting her on there, it won't hurt her feelings if she can't make it one day. You have like your 2 or 3 backup cleaners from TurnoverBnB. So that's my little Stevie suggestion.
That's where I was going to go with that on Turnover, because I still use Turnover to this day. My thing about Turnover though, I would vet the cleaners on there, and this is what I mean. Like, not their skills, but their skills are going to show up in the review, right? This is what I mean by vet them. Like, you have some cleaners that just take cleanings because they're there. They might have 2 or 3 that day, try to rush through yours. I'd be like, straight ask them, like, look, how many people up under you? And if you have multiple people under you, I'll start working with you. Because when I was doing apartments in Dallas, I had a couple people who were, they would just take the cleaning. It's 10 cleanings. They up here just like, they'll half-ass one of them, move on to the next one. So it's like, oh, man. So you have to make sure they got people up under them. And those people up under them, they have to train them, And one of my cleaners, she's been with me for a long time. She had people up under her, and she started training them. So
nice. Yeah, no, it's always good to have I always say a backup for the backup. Because you never know what could happen. So, because like this week, for instance, and throughout this, I've been doing about half and half. So I've been doing some of the cleaning on my own, and I've been having her do some of the cleaning. But like this week, she had a family emergency. She had to go to Atlanta, kind of thing. So it's like, okay, well, this week I'm on my own, right? Or I have my backup, kind of thing. So yeah, like I said, pretty affordable. And and Stevie, to your point, I think for my cleaner in particular, it can help her not only grow, but help her understand that she is more valuable than what she is offering in terms of her hourly rate and so on and so forth, and start to scale that up. So I try to be a little sensitive when I talk to people about that, because, right now she's charging $20 an hour to do cleaning.
What's the average? How long does it take her to do a cleaning though?
Probably maybe 2.5 hours at most.
Bad, though.
Yeah, not at all. And to be honest, I would say a lot of that time is making sure that the stuff that goes in the washer and dryer is done, right? Because you can't cut that time out. It's gotta be washed and dried. So
you, Myka, is this correct? You can set up your TurnoverBnB account to pay hourly.
Yeah.
Or okay, so there you go. You can set it up to pay $20 an hour. Whoever wants to knock it out, or whatever you decide.
Nice.
Or you can pay per job, or $50 per job. You can set it up any way you want, and then they bid on your jobs.
See, and that's an interesting one. I've always done flat rate.
Me too.
Yeah, I've done flat rate, but I've seen people who take little trips. They like, man, if you do per hour, you might save money. So, but the only issue with some of my units now, I have 3 and 4 bedrooms. My 4-bedroom takes a long time. It takes.
Yeah, I can imagine. They
have to check out at 10 o'clock, and the check-in's at 4. And if they're done before then because you have to realize you have to wash for 4 different linen sets up in there. So it's like,
Yeah, that's
why I was like, I'm about to stick to the flat rate. But I think on my new one, I'm doing a rehab, and the rehab's going to be done this month. I might look into doing hourly, because my other 2 are booked till December. I'll tell y'all some more about that. But the other 2 got booked through December by traveling nurses, and they're paying some hefty change. And I can really hone in on one, like the costs and expenses over there. So I might look into doing it hourly.
Nice. Are y'all finding that y'all are making, I guess, a little bit of profit on the cleaning fee, or is it just a wash at this point?
I make like $5 profit on the cleaning fee. Yeah, I charge $60 per cleaning, and I charge the guest $65.
Gotcha.
I really could go up to $70. So, but it ain't no.
Yeah, for one that big, yeah, you probably but
yeah. Oh yeah, the 4-bedroom I could definitely go up to like 70, 80. But I can't. But this is the only thing about this area: the taxes are high as hell in Arkansas. Like, I'm guaranteeing they probably paying $200-$300 in taxes. Wow, crazy. That's why I'm like, man, I got to go direct booking, man. So, but it's opposite of Texas. Like Texas, you're gonna pay high property taxes, but that's out of your pocket. There, you're gonna pay high lodging taxes out of the people coming in pocket because they ain't got no tourists really. You know what I mean? So,
wow,
yeah, it's interesting.
And what about photos? You took taking professional photos of your units?
I didn't this time. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do it on this next one. I did use my kind of expensive camera, and I've been learning about using the different lenses and things of that kind of nature. And they came out, I mean, comparatively to some of the ones that I'm sure you've seen on Airbnb, they actually look really great. So
really,
yeah. I mean, you still got people taking pictures with their phone on Airbnb, and they're getting bookings. I mean, people need a place to stay, so I guess I don't know.
Honestly,
but I don't want to leave it up to a bad picture to get to get.
Ain't gonna lie, man. If you have $115 ring light and an iPhone, it takes some pretty good pictures with a ring light. Like a ring light can really brighten up. It does some crazy stuff.
Yeah, that's what I used this last time around. So I've got the ring light, and I used a DSLR camera and everything. Mm-hmm. They came out pretty good. So, but again, I mean, once I start to scale up, I'm gonna start parsing all that out because they're gonna definitely do a better job than me and get the right angles and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think the going rate for apartment your size or the one I'm getting to is about $120 to $130 to get some really nice photos. I mean, knock your socks off. I'm not going back to iPhone or even friend with the camera thing. I'm gonna pay gonna pay the money. And I'll tell you, because I had a house in Arlington, man, and I just did. I took all of them on my iPhone, and I got bookings or whatever. But as soon as I put those professional pictures up, because a friend of a friend, was doing it. Man, I mean, it just went through the roof. My bookings went through the roof, and it looked like, wow, that's my house. It was like, It was amazing. So it's a huge difference because they know what the hell they're doing, and it's just like, it's amazing.
But y'all's size, like 800 square feet. That's
mine, 800 square. I'll say this: anything from like 1,000 square feet and down is probably you can get really good photos for 120, 130.
You can get them from like 80. I had a professional doing it for like $80.
Oh wow!
He was doing all my units, but they were real small. Now in Arkansas, it's a little bit different market. People trying to bust your head wide open because they ain't gonna get much business anyway. So
did that include editing and everything too, or like touch up? Because I know there's people that just do Airbnb photo touch up as a service. Like on Fiverr and all those places.
I forgot to tell y'all. Speaking of photos. I heard you rank higher when you use Airbnb's photography system because the photos are owned by Airbnb.
Really?
Photography system? Oh, wow.
Because it's their photos, and therefore it ranks you higher.
Huh.
I ain't never used them, so I need to test that out. I'm going to use them this time. I'm going to use them. Use them on the new one. I just thought about that. Yeah,
they do charge more. They charge more than a regular photographer.
I'm pretty sure they would, too.
But if it puts you up there, that's worth it. Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yes, I've heard that for a while. Using their photographers will rank you higher due to, like, I guess they, Airbnb's photos, they'll rank you a little higher. Whatever.
Now, my buddy's son at work, I was talking to him today, and I was saying, I asked if he knew. Well, he just mentioned out of the blue his son does photography or is getting into photography and bought a nice camera and this and that, and he's doing these like little photo shoots for his friends. And I was like, hey, would he shoot an Airbnb? And he said, he said, you might, yeah, let me shout out to him and this and that. So I think his son, I said, well, show me what kind of skills you have, taking pictures indoors. And of course, the first picture, I mean, you could tell it's a decent camera. The first pictures he was taking, took some nice shots and stuff, but the lighting was so low. And the first thing, because I learned from that first girl that did my professional pic, she said, first thing you do, turn every single light on and open all the blinds and everything, just flood the house with light. And so I told him to go back and do that, and it was better. Not the quality like the professional, but he said he'll go in there. He said, I'll do it for $60, man. And I was like, let me think about it, Maybe talk him down to 40. Go out there and give me some pre-pics, some pre-photos before the real deal come through. But I don't know if he does. But he's real eager to learn. So he's the type to go study and try to learn it. Shoot.
It's always good to help the small guy, but I mean, if you got to tell him how to take the photos, then
give him a few tips. I didn't,
Yeah.
And he's all doing the fancy close up, to the stove. I'm like, I don't need all that.
Have the contrast, the contrast.
Yeah, those are played out.
Bro, I had a photographer in Arkansas, man. This dude was taking pictures of the wall, bro, like a blank wall. I'm like, bro, come on, man.
Trying to be all artistic and shit.
Hey, you gotta have your proof to show Airbnb how clean the wall was before, right? Look,
there you go.
I didn't say nothing about it, but like he had some really good photos. But I really want to ask this dude, what is this picture, man? But
he left the lens on, the lens cap. Oh man! So you got a washer and dryers inside your units?
On the first one, no, actually. But on the second one that I'm getting on board, yes, I do. And I kind of weighed that too on the first time around. I was like, and this is before I realized that it was going to be a lot more long-term stays, and for that type of demographic, yeah, people are going to want something in the space. But I have the first long-term booking, at least for that spot, that's going to be starting in next month, and they're okay with it. So I guess there's people, because there's a laundromat, on site kind of thing.
Okay.
So, but yeah,
so that's where your cleaner does. She uses that laundromat down or wherever it is.
Yeah.
That might help too, because she can do like a whole bunch of loads at once.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
No,
get the colors, get the whites, all that good stuff. So
like your long-term guests, they didn't have a problem with that?
No, I'm just transparent about it, saying, hey, this is what it is. And for the majority of everyone else, if you're doing a short-term stay, I would say even sometimes if you're doing a week, you're probably not gonna do laundry before you leave. But it depends on what you're all gonna be doing, right? Because if you're staying in a hotel, I mean, unless you're going and doing the laundry cleaning service, which a lot of people don't do, I mean, it's really for extended stays that's going to come into play.
Man, Steve, we probably could have got that ghetto trap motel there. They had the laundry on site, man. The laundry and the stove.
Oh, that's the next episode we got to talk about. Trap motel. Me and Myka were gonna buy.
Oh man,
there's promise there. It makes the money.
Yeah, we almost bought a ghetto trap motel.
Here in Dallas.
Or
Grand Prairie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Grand Prairie. But the crazy thing, and Myka pointed this out, the crazy thing, it's in the hood, but like behind it is just this open field and then the freeway, and then you can just get this perfect view of the Dallas skyline. Man, it's like $1 million view, man. It's like, what the hell? This trap motel has $1 million view. And I guess yeah, it's great because like this company over there owns all that land, so they don't build nothing on it. But it's just like, wow, just the perfect view. And so I was thinking, turn it into like a hostel type thing, make it fun and cool. And like the youngsters that come through Dallas could stay there, and that would be like, we definitely point out that view, maybe throw a little pool and hot tub there. I don't know. I just had these ideas.
The 4th of July, that'd be a perfect view.
Ooh, oh man,
easy.
That's true.
Yeah, like 4th of July, man, you could see the fireworks from it. But like, you would never think that, man. I'm talking, it's like in a residential neighborhood. You turn into it, man. It looked like a little trap house over there, man. It looked like somebody cooking up dope in the back and slinging it out the front. I'm dead. Like, I'm for real. Like, we walked in, because me and Steve walked in. Steve's like, Damn, it's like when you walk into it, man, it looks like you walking into a prison. Like it's like this little
Oh,
small
wow.
walk space, and it was a trip. We'll talk about it on the next time.
Oh man.
Right by a church too. You do your sinning, then go next door, do your praying.
But yeah, man.
We'll give a discount to the preacher. That's wrong. That's wrong. Oh man. So you said, okay, 1 unit a quarter. So why did you choose that amount? And
You know, I'm still trying to put my business plan together, but I feel like it was able for me to keep the momentum to kind of build up on some of the profits and things of that nature from the previous launches, and really just start to kind of snowball it, to be honest. You know, at least at this point, I haven't had to, take out any loans or anything for any of this, which is kind of another story in itself. But the intent is really to be able to kind of scale it, sustainably in a way that allows me to obviously have the flexibility to continue what I'm doing with all the other stuff on the side, with the podcast, full-time work, all that, and then also learn and start to build a team around what I'm doing. All right. So I know it's going to take some time. But yeah, and really for me, I know people won't necessarily, gravitate towards it at the beginning because it may be a little bit harder to understand. Well, like I mentioned before about kind of creating these kind of wellness spaces, health and wellness spaces for my Airbnbs and things of that nature, is hopefully going to benefit. Because I mean, like I told you before, even at my last spot, I had been doing the air purifiers, even before COVID kind of thing. And so couple the air purifiers with air quality monitoring. I know that one of the Airbnb guys talks about the Minut system or something like that for environmental smoke and all that. Oh, there you go. Yeah, there you go. So, with mine kind of coupling both of those together, I mean, you've got the air quality or air purifier to be able to, filter all those toxins, things of that nature, and make the space. And you can monitor it, right? And it's actually, it's data driven. It's qualitative and quantitative. So, guests appreciate that. Some people, get a kick out of it, things of that nature. But it's something that probably 99% of Airbnbs do not have, and 99%, if not more, hotels don't have. How good is the air quality in your space?
And how much does a system like that cost to install?
So I mean, it ranges. I've seen some for as low as, I don't know, $200. I've seen others as high as $600, $800. But the actual sensor where you get the data on, CO2, humidity, temperature, particulate matter, chemicals, things of that nature, that unit costs about $100, $120. So it's called the Aware Element system. So, I know people use the system, that you got, Myka, to be able to see when people are smoking in there and all that kind of stuff, which is great. And it has the noise feature to it too, so you can see when people are doing parties and all that stuff. So,
by the way, if you are looking for a Minut system, you can look in the show notes, and we will give you our affiliate link.
Awesome. I would do that because I want to test it out. I do want to test it out for sure. But yeah, so I mean, it's just pretty interesting. So I mean, and I think we had touched on this before, Myka, about how, while Airbnb hasn't started to crack down on this yet, but when you think about all of the inventory that Airbnb has, well, I say the host of Airbnb, not physically Airbnb, it ranges on a huge spectrum, right? From super old properties to brand new, just came on the market yesterday kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And when it comes to all of the code related stuff, if we're talking about fire code, asbestos, all this stuff, nobody is doing quality control on any of this. And air quality is just a piece of that, right? In the space. And I know they did this whole cleanliness protocol and things of that nature, and you commit to clean and so on and so forth. But at least from my understanding in the United States, Airbnb isn't doing any quality control or auditing on any of that. Now, I know there's some international countries that are doing auditing on their Airbnbs. So I don't know if they've got like a shopper system where people, fake and say, hey, I'm a guest, I want to stay here for a couple of days, and they audit your space and then they report back to Airbnb. I don't know if you guys had any of that happening or heard of any of that, but
I haven't, but I am happy you brought up the COVID cleaning. Have you signed up for that?
yeah, I have.
So what exactly does that do?
It basically allows you to be put into a certain category, just like a superhost or some of the other things that they offer, to saying that you have committed to an elevated level of cleanliness to protect your guests. So with that, there's some protocols around what you need to share with your cleaners in terms of sanitation, cleaning, dusting, and the process and how that happens. They've even instituted, which they have not necessarily audited or made mandatory, kind of this buffer, 24-hour buffer that you should have in between bookings. I don't know how many people are really doing that, but the intent was to be able to kind of air out the space kind of thing. There's some merit to that, but in the grand scheme of things, 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, it really doesn't make that big of a difference because in a lot of this, or in some spaces, people, turn their HVAC units off during that time frame or, dial it down, things of that nature. And so what you want to be able to do is have the continual filtration in addition to, the normal filters that you may have in your system kind of thing, because it's all about air changes that you have in your space. So with these purifiers, I mean, these are HEPA grade purifier or filtration, and you're getting about another 2 or 3 air changes for your entire space. And what I mean by air changes is imagine the entire volume of air that is in the building or in your apartment or in your house is being cleansed so many times per hour. So typically for older homes, that's much less. And then even in some older homes, they don't have any ventilation coming in from the exterior other than opening windows, which some people may or may not do. So anyway, I could go down a rabbit hole with that and talking about health and wellness, but
I guess my main question with that is, does it get all the stank out?
It does. It's made to so all the odors and VOCs or volatile organic chemicals, all that stuff. Yeah, it helps out with that. And for me, I even have mine set up to where it's on a Wi-Fi plug. So I can turn it off and on remotely if I need to, if I know guests are staying there, not staying there, or if we need to boost it up in between the stays kind of thing, because they have different settings. And one of the ones that I use is called the Ellum Flex Smart or Breathe Smart. And that thing is so quiet on the lowest setting. But again, you can ramp it up if you're really trying to, like you said, clear the stank out if you need to, in between bookings or whatever, for whatever reason. So
Now, how good does it work with, like, we say no smoking, but people still do that shit. So how good does it work getting out the cigarettes or weed smell?
Yeah, so they have different products that specifically address that. So I know for the one that I have, I've got that included. So there's like 3 different tiers. Obviously, the one that you include for heavy smoke is a little bit more costly. But yeah, they have that. So and
That's worth it, man.
I haven't tested it out, but I've seen that within 24 hours, if not sooner, you can immediately kind of evacuate. And kind of obviously you have to do some cleaning on the furniture depending on how bad it is, to be able to get that kind of smell out, other than just in the atmosphere. But yeah, it's pretty powerful, man.
Here's what automatically crosses my mind is like how you could really hammer it home and advertise it to travel nurses. Because imagine being at the hospital all day with the freaking mask on. You just want to get home to a nice space and just breathe, and you can really advertise that to like this air will like purify them, kind of clean them out of all that gunk that's in their mask they've been breathing all day. I don't know. I think that would be a big seller right there.
Well, I mean, even for people with allergies, right? When pollen season comes around, people that have, say, if you have a spot that you allow pets, and then you have a person that comes in that doesn't have a pet, they may have allergies. Your cleaner can only do so much. Some of that stuff is still in the air. So when you have a product or system like that to be able to help filter that out, I mean, that's a win-win. So.
And because you said, kind of going back to the Airbnb COVID clean, don't they are they forcing you to block off a day after, or is they're not forcing?
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, I guess they're low on money and they're about to IPO. And they got
It's how to do everything they can.
Airbnb blowing smoke, huh?
Dude.
Yeah. 'Cause I know they IPO'd this month, right? Or next month?
I think it's next month.
Next month? Yeah, they're IPOing. I don't know. Y'all touching that stock?
Nah, might as well throw something at it.
Yeah, might as well. Right? We already invested in it in a way. So.
I ain't gonna throw like $100,000 at it. Not that I have that. But real quick, see, since you're in the same area that I am, so kind of AT&T has a monopoly over there, right?
Oh man, I didn't realize that. I'm doing Spectrum at my spot.
Oh, you got
I know
Spectrum.
Myka. Yeah, I know Myka was like, don't do Spectrum.
I love Spectrum. I have Spectrum in
it's-
my houses, man. I love Spectrum.
Yeah, I was rolling the dice on this one and decided to continue on because I had Spectrum in my last place. I was like, all right, let's go ahead and roll over this account and change the information, all that kind of stuff to put it in the business. But it's been going pretty good so far, man. And, I had a hiccup in the beginning where they had to just change out the new modem and everything because the modem that I had before, because they're doing like the whole self-install now, right? Because they can't, or at least before they couldn't bring people out and all that kind of stuff. And I had that modem for like 3 years, so I mean it was about time to upgrade to the new model. But anyway, once they got that set up, I was good. I haven't had any issues since.
How much they charging?
The Spectrum?
Yeah.
So I was able to get a deal cut. Oh man, is it 44 a month? Yeah, 44 a month for just internet, high speed internet. Yeah. And the speed test, like I had 2 people like comment on it. It's like, dude, your internet is like super fast. So I mean, when I did a speed test, it was like up in the high 300s megabytes per second.
Very bad.
So, but yeah. So I mean, being able to kind of couple that with everything else that's going on, guests see it as a benefit, and people are also wanting to work from home now too, right? Whether they are traveling and they're going to be here in Dallas, and if they just need a place to be to work. So that's another thing which I'm sure people are capitalizing on and putting in office spaces or desks into their Airbnbs to maximize on that. On this first property, I'm actually trying to convert a huge, because it's so weird in this space. There's like 2 huge walk-in closets, one in the bedroom and there's one in the hallway with 2 additional small open storage spaces in the hallway. It's just too much storage.
That's a 3-bedroom.
I mean, you could put a little cot in the other.
There you go.
But there's no outlets in there. That's the only thing. But I'm trying to retrofit that walk-in closet into an office.
Nice.
And so I've got this, desk that I could put on the wall and all this kind of stuff. I'm going to do some painting in there. So it's going to be really nice. I mean, I think at one point I had seen somebody do it on Pinterest, and I was like, this is a pretty good idea. People retrofitting their closets into office spaces, and I've seen some nice ones. I'll send you some photos. It's going to be a thing that people gravitate to.
A lot of people podcast in closets too. I seen that on Pinterest. I seen a guy turn his closet into a little podcast place. I was like, dang, yeah, Pinterest got it all, man. If you ever want to,
I love Pinterest. They got some cool shit, man.
I know they do.
Yeah.
I feel like building a bar every time I look at that thing. It's like, damn, that looks easy.
For real.
I guess I was asking because AT&T, I just, that was pretty much the only option. Spectrum one, and those apartments that I'm getting into. But so I called him up and I talked to this dude, and he said, well, congratulations, because your area actually has our newest fastest fiber optic connections there, so you're gonna have blazing fast internet, man. So your customers are gonna be very happy there. So and it's funny, I heard too that I just listened to another podcast, another Airbnb podcast, Get Paid For Your Pad. And they mentioned this guy's like, a lot of people right now are traveling, that a lot of business people, people that want to stay or work out of a spot, because they're working remotely. And sometimes they want to get a place that's out of the house or, out, away. Mm-hmm. And so that's a lot of that going on. And to advertise to those people, he's saying, be sure to take a screenshot of your internet, the speed, and put it into like, your 4th or 5th picture. And so right away, those business people could see, oh, damn, because they need that fast internet, right?
People have asked that question, and when they do inquiries, like, do you have, fast internet, so on and so forth? Because like when I was doing the old place, somebody said that they said the last place we stayed at, we had to build this tower and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, dang. I think it was a single family home, but they had to build like I don't know, 20-foot tower or something like that outside to do something. I don't know. I don't know what kind of business they were in, but
wow.
Yeah.
Cams. But they were anyways, so yeah, that's what I was like. Yeah, add a pic of your internet speed on there. I thought that's a cool little
Nice.
I mean, yeah, it's
like
a cool
that.
idea. Yeah. Good idea, Myka.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And what area do you plan on growing? You plan on just staying in the Lower Greenville, Dallas area?
I mean, that's a pretty good area, along with kind of uptown-ish, and I know historically the market has been kind of saturated, and as we've seen, with the way things that went back in during the quarantine, there were a lot of people that got out of the Airbnb game, right, or short-term rental, and so kind of transitioning out of that, there's a lot of players that have been taken off the board, but to the same aspect, there have been a lot of new players onto the board, so there's kind of a new competition, if you will. But those are growing areas or growing markets in the Dallas area. I think I talked to Myka before about Uber. One of the Uber headquarters is still supposed to be moving to Deep Ellum. So all of that real estate around there, which I'm sure you've seen, has grown a lot over the past couple of years and still continuing to grow, are going to be good markets. The only thing, and I've seen this in some of the other listings and reviews, is like, I mean, call it gentrification, call it what you like. There's pockets over there in that area. So it's literally, you go 2 blocks that way, then, you got these, shack houses, and you got these
What area did you
$1 million homes, huh?
What area did you just say?
I mean, it's like Deep Ellum, Greenville, all of that over there.
West Dallas, especially, man.
Yeah, West Dallas too. East Dallas, West Dallas. So you kind of have to pick and choose, where you lay your roots for your spots. I mean, because that'll make or break. Because people will comment and say, "Oh, hey, it was unsafe. The area was sketchy." Regardless of what the inside of your place looks like, that safety factor. And I was listening to another podcast today, and both of you guys have wives. If you're going to look at a property, bring your wife, bring a woman with you, because she'll be able to have that feel factor that you may not have in terms of safety and what does this look like for a single female, because you get those as well that come to book, right? And you want them to feel safe. So
yeah, I saw some white people walking their dogs in front of mine, so I feel it right.
You got the check mark right there. That one.
Starbucks and Chick-fil-A's, bro. That'll tell you if you're in a decent neighborhood.
But you're right, because there are pockets over there. Because you turn down one street, it's like, oh shit, it's a hood, and then like you go down the next street, and it's like you said, those giant mansions. Like, where the hell do these come from, man? Right there by the hood, man. It's crazy.
Go to West Dallas, man. That's all day, dude. You a rundown house next door. It's a $300,000 house with a balcony. You like, what is this? For real, man. It's crazy.
So you're gonna need a Nike Run Club or Keep My Run, so you do your running trail and zigzags or whatever. It's all throughout the neighborhood.
It's funny though. I was over in West Dallas with my boy, and he was showing me the area because he was like, he owns a house over there, and he was like, black dude. He went for a jog with his dog. He was over in West Dallas, and that's where he lived. The lady was on the porch, and he was jogging by. And she looked at him and said, "We don't run no dogs over in this neighborhood." But hey, he was like, "Damn, okay."
We don't run no dogs.
We don't run no dogs over this neighborhood. But yeah, man, it's crazy. Man.
Oh man, that's cool, man. Well, yeah, we're glad you hopped on again and told us your progress and how we inspired you to do more. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, you did. You really did. I'm not gonna lie. So like I had mentioned to you guys before, I had been, trying to tiptoe into it, and it just took way too long than I should have on the research, and now I'm in it, committed. So looking forward to growing. So
I like that plan though, getting 1 unit a quarter. I do like that because I'm tempted, because after this one's getting up and running, I'm like, man, it looks really good. It's a nice area. I'm getting some bookings already. I ain't even got the pictures up yet. And then should I get another one right now? And I was like, nah, I should wait. I should just ease into it. There's no, I shouldn't push all my chips in on my first, my first bet. You know what I'm saying?
True.
So I like how you do that. And once, one a quarter. And then, hey, if it starts doing better, you can do, like you said, the snowball effect. You can do 2, maybe in the future, or 3, just and level up.
Yeah, I mean, now I would say that within the next 12 to 16 months is probably going to be a really good time to be aggressive on growth, just because, especially for people that have a lot of properties or may have a lot of capital to buy up a lot of units, kind of thing, in the arbitrage scenario. You're a solution to those property managers, right? Because a lot of people aren't trying to commit to a year lease right now, kind of thing, and they need something more short term. And if you're able to buy that whole floor out, or get a full duplex or a triplex or something, rent it out, and you're doing Airbnb or the rental arbitrage through it, I mean, that's a win-win for you and them, to be honest. And right now, the markets in terms of the rates too, for kind of going into the fall season, as the rates typically go down after summer, is a good time to get in, because then you lock in those lower rates. So
nice. Well, cool, man. So where can folks find you? Because I know they're going to be hitting you up about the air filtration stuff. That's definitely next level stuff right there.
Yeah, so if people couldn't find me, I just launched an Instagram account. It's called PBD Living Dallas. So Performance by Design Living. And so they can find me there. So it's PBD Living Dallas.
Picture podcast, man.
I also have a podcast called 3P Theory. And so I've got that linked up with my personal Instagram account at M Charles Jr. So 3P Theory, about sustainability, energy efficiency for building. So it's a great educational and learning opportunity there.
Sweet. PBD Living. Cool, man. I'll be reaching out to you. I'll try to get a spot where you're at. You get the good deals over there.
You got to know how to have some handyman work to get that deal he copped over there.
Oh, man. We can share resources.
Yeah, no, most definitely.
This is a good app, man. It's a good app. I'm happy. I'm wishing much continued success to you. And I like what you did with negotiating your skills. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and always ask for a discount, right? Like that, you could have just took that price like a lot of people would. That's not a bad price, but you said, you could do a little better.
So yeah, man, it's been good. So always looking to learn more.
They are building a crap load of apartments over in that area. You seen that?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how that turns out.
So you can catch Live Let Thrive on IG, TikTok, Facebook, wherever you listen. We're on Apple, iTunes, YouTube. Remember, subscribe, like the videos, leave a comment. We are always on, ready to respond back. And if you're ready to get your health and fitness game together, be sure to follow Mahogany Artist on IG and reach out to Mike on IG. You can follow his story. He just gave you his account, and LLT is out.
Later.
Peace.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Live, Let, Thrive. Be sure to tune in next week for all the latest in the world of Airbnb and all that entails. Bye-bye.